Good afternoon. This is Ray Perosa. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Uh, this afternoon we'll be discussing brief introduction to taxation. This presentation aims the listener or the viewer to be able to comprehend and demonstrate mastery of the following concepts. One is the concept of taxation, why it is needed by the government. Uh, Two is lifeblood doctrine and its implication to taxation. Third one is the theories of government cost allocations. The fourth one is inherent power of the state, scope of taxation power, stages of taxation, and the concept of situs of taxation. So what is taxation? Taxation it is defined as the state power, a legislative process, and a mode of government cost distribution. Taxation daw, it is a state of power kung saan every state has the inherent power to tax. Also, it is a legislative process. Later on, we will discuss why taxation is a legislative process, and it is a mode of government cost distribution. So taxation is as a state power, it is an inherent power of the state to enforce proportional contribution from its subjects for public use. So again, in every sovereignty, it has an inherent power to tax. Uh, the inherent power to tax from its subjects. Ano to yung mga subjects na tinatawag? Subjects, ito yung mga, like for example, people, business, property, transactions. These are subjects that kumbaga pwede siyang maimpusan or pwede siyang kukunan ng buwis. Taxation is generally for public use. Taxation is a process of levying taxes by the legislatures of the state to enforce proportional contribution from its subjects for public use. Kumbaga, yung tax, before we can have our uh, paying of taxes, there must be a tax laws. So itong mga tax laws na to they are being imposed or levied by the legislative branch. Sino ba yung legislative branch? Isa to sa mga three branches of the government kung saan sila yung in charge doon sa enacting or drafting bills of taxation. Uh, act, Acting bill or drafting a bill of tax. So uh, sila yung in charge doon sa pag-impose o pag-levy ng mga taxes. So sila tong mga si congressman. Kumbaga sila yung nakatoka doon sa paggawa o pag-create ng mga tax laws. Taxation is a mode of cost distribution. Taxation, it is a mode by which the state allocates its cost or burden to its subjects who are benefited by its spending. Kumbaga, paano ba ang tax dinidistribute? So, si government, meron siyang project na ito yung mga cost or ito yung mga gagawin niya. So, kukuha naman siya ng buwis from the people it governs. So ito, basic of taxation. From the government, si government, nag-impose or nagbibigay ng public services to the people, and then yung mga tao naman is magbabayad ng buwis sa government. Kumbaga, it is, the government will provide service to the people in forms of public services, and the people provide the funds to the government. This refers to the benefit received theory. So guys, legit ngayon nasa pandemic tayo. So si government nagpo-provide ng health services to the people. Uh, so it is really important na tayo mga tao under the Philippines of the government, uh, government of the Philippines rather, na dapat we have to pay religiously ang ating mga buwis para naman si government can carry out its operation, can carry out its daily operation para masatisfy naman niya yung mga services na kailangan ng tao. So theories of cost allocation. In exercising the power of taxation, the following theories are considered. One is the benefit received theory, and the other one is the ability to pay theory. So benefit received theory, this proposes that the more benefits one received from the government, the more taxes he should pay. So ito yung, for example, kung marami kang income, why? Bakit nga kung marami kang income, so dapat, or kung marami kang na-receive na benefit from the government, so it is your obligation na magbabayad ka rin ng mas malaki na buwis sa government. Ability to pay theory, this proposes that taxation should consider the taxpayer's ability to pay. Let's say for example, guys, kung isang mayaman na tao, isang mayaman at isang middle class na tao, kung silang dalawa is pagpapagbuwisin ng pareho, let's say for example, si mayaman at saka si middle class, magbubuwis sila ng 100,000 pesos na tax. Na, syempre, ito naman si middle class, isipin niya bakit 100,000 lang yung kay mayaman. So dapat titingnan ng government, kung patas ba yung pagbubuwis ng tao. So dapat tingnan natin na kung mas marami siyang capacity to pay taxes, dapat magbubuwis yan ng mas malaki compared doon sa less fortunate na tao. So, lifeblood theory of taxation, taxes kuno are essential and indispensable to the continued subsistence of the government. Without taxes, government would be paralyzed. Tama lang naman na, kumbaga, kung walang buwis, wala yung gobyerno. Hindi siya makapag-operate by its own. Kumbaga, the government needs funds from the taxes that we pay. So, dapat lang na yung mga tao, yung mga taxpayer should pay on time, promptly, and in the exact amount. Inherent power of the state, we have three: taxation power, police power, and eminent domain. So ano ba yung taxation power? So the power of the state is to enforce proportional contribution from its subjects to sustain itself. Kaya yun na nga, the lifeblood theory, kumbaga, dapat magbubuwis tayo para naman si government can sustain itself. Police power, it is a general power of the state to enact laws to protect the well-being of the people. Kumbaga, it is the inherent power of the state na to protect the welfare of the general. Inherent power of the state also is the eminent domain. This power take private properties for public use after paying just compensation. Let's say for example ngayon, there is a road widening. The government can take your property kung saan doon dadaan yung kalsada. After that, the government pays you a just compensation. Stages of exercise of taxation power. So we have one, levy or imposition, and the other one is assessment and collection. So nasabi natin kanina, taxation ko is it is a legislative act. Kumbaga, it is a legislative act kung saan the imposition or the levying of taxes originates from the House of the Representatives. Mga congressman, sila po yung i-impose, sila po yung nagli-levy, sila po yung nagda-draft ng bill for taxation. Sila po yung gumagawa ng tax laws. So, kung yung tax laws naman natin is naipasa na, then it is the obligation or the obligation of the executive branch to assess and collect the exact amount of tax. Escape from taxation. Tax evasion and tax avoidance. So, anong pinagkaiba ng tax evasion and tax avoidance? So, tax evasion is also known as tax dodging. It refers to any act or trick tends to illegally reduce or avoid the payment of tax. So ito pa yung for example, non or under recording or non-recording of sales transactions. So omit if you omit or you avoid recording your sales, then tendency you will not pay output tax. You will not record output tax. So lesser output tax, lesser VAT payable. So kung hindi ka nakapag-record ng tamang sales, then tendency mas maliit yung buwis na babayaran mo. Or sinobrahan mo yung expenses nyo. So kung mataas yung expenses, so tendency bababa yung net income. So net income, kung lower yung net income, lower din yung tax natin. So what about tax avoidance? It is a tax also known as tax minimization. This refers to any act or tricks that reduces or totally escapes taxes by any legally permissible means. So ito yung mga acts na allowed naman ng batas na kung saan pwedeng mas mapababa yung tax liability natin. Let's say for example, if you are using if you think na yung business mo ngayon is may maraming expenses, uh, allowable itemized deductions, kung mas sa tingin mo is mas malaki yung expenses mo today at this taxable year compare sa gagamit ka ng 40% optional standard deduction or OSD, 40% OSD, then you opt to use the allowable itemized deductions kung saan mas mapababa mo or mas mapababa mo yung net income mo, so mas mababa din yung tax na babayaran mo sa gobyerno. So that's all. I hope that you learned something from our presentation for today. Um, Once again, thank you, and don't forget to like, share, or subscribe this YouTube channel, and see you for our next topic to be discussed. Thank you and stay safe.